Welcome everybody to Isaac Laurier's Toolbox Tuesdays, and today we have Carson talking to us about the team recipe. So I'd just like to call up Carson in.
All right. Hello everybody, how are you doing tonight? How are we really doing tonight?
Tired.
Yeah, midterm time, I understand, I totally understand. I've actually put more preparation to this presentation than I did for the Ignite charity speech. Don't tell Poppy. But I would like to share something extremely valuable with that. I'd like to share with you guys today the team recipe. And I've handed out a one-page handout for everyone. Very, very simple. It's just a skeleton. If you'd like to take notes during the presentation, absolutely do. So to start things off, okay. So I'd like to share with you guys who I am and why I'm here. I think it's a very important aspect to cover, seeing as it's Tuesday night and you could be studying or something else. My name's Carson. I'm the president of Isaac Laurier and have been for the last 2 years. And since the beginning of my term, 2 years ago, I was pressed with this question of what is a team experience? I'd had summer camp experience at Camp Twingo for a number of years, and I had a chance to lead three cabins as my team. I always had this team mentality. I had a chance to lead 2 groups of counselors that led 4 cabins combined. So that was 11 team experiences over the last couple of years. And then coming into a not-for-profit organization, I got a chance to see, can you lead an organization? Can you manage an organization in the same way that you manage campers and work with the team at that camp? And this actually led me all around the world. So this presentation isn't something that was just contrived and come up with. This was something that I went to Brazil this summer to specifically ask the leadership body of Isaac in Brazil how they achieved the success they did and why teams were important. When I was in Czech Republic, I met the president of Isaac Brazil. When I was in Toronto, I met another former president of Isaac Brazil and got a chance to see, and if you're from Isaac or not, I believe this is relevant because I'll use a case example to prove. But I've asked why are teams important and what's essential to a team. So I have this nice button presser here. So before I start, it's just going to be under 30 minutes. We're about 5 minutes late, some technical glitches. But my first question for you is, this is Toolbox Tuesday, soft skills and success in 30 minutes or less. So the objective is to give you a soft skill, to give you something that you could use that you did not have before, and you walk away feeling like you've accomplished something. So using your paper, I'm very curious to hear, scribble a couple notes of what you think soft skills are, like examples, definition, whatever you feel like, but I'm challenging you now, what are soft skills? And if you're watching this online, just go on Wikipedia and type in soft skills. It gives a very concise definition. If you're quick with your iPhone or Android or BlackBerry or Windows phone or whatever other phone is out there, feel free to do that yourself. Okay, so what are soft skills? Does anybody have part of the definition or an example they might want to share of a soft skill? Let's go with, yeah, Lucy, or sorry, Wendy.
Soft skills are skills which are transferable no matter what your profession or position.
Transferable skills across all professions, fantastic. Let's build on that. Where else do we want to go with this definition? Yes, Marta. What's that? Personality, absolutely. Your personality, it doesn't determine your ability to gain soft skills, but it certainly makes some skills easier to acquire and some skills more challenging. Introvert, extrovert might affect your ability to stand up in front of people and do public speaking, right? Some more, I know Melanie, you were excited to contribute there.
How to create impact on others?
Absolutely, right? Your persuasiveness, your selling skills, your exactly that. How to impact somebody else's decision making, right? That comes down to soft skills. So yeah, teamwork, team ability, team building, all these things fall into soft skills. So the official definition, that official is Wikipedia official, but soft skills are personal attributes that enhance an individual's interactions, job performance, and career prospects, like you said. Unlike hard skills, which are about a person's skill set and ability to perform a certain task or activity, soft skills relate to a person's ability to interact efficiently with coworkers and customers and broadly applicable to both in and out of the workplace. So I'm bringing you team building and team dynamic soft skills today, and that's the objective. Okay, my next question for you is about teams. This is my team from Czech Republic. There was, I believe, 17 or 18 of us together for 9 days. We got a chance actually to go out into Prague and to prove that social entrepreneurialism was a viable business model. I will tell that story to any time, but that was really cool. They sent us in the city of Prague, and we generated over 780 euros with 12 rolls of toilet paper. But this is our team, and we were only together for 9 days, but I felt like we had a team experience. So my question for you, think of one of your best team experiences, and what were the ingredients? What were some things and key moments that happened during that team experience that made you feel connected? It can be a sports team, it can be a business new venture team, it can be a camp counselor or camper team that you're on, any sort of team. But think of the top ingredients and feel free to jot those down. So what were some ingredients? What stood out for you as a team? What's a transferable, just like a soft skill is transferable, what's a transferable element of a team?
Everybody pulls their weight.
Yep, combined effort, right? Working together towards something. Absolutely. Yeah.
Good communication.
Great communication between members, yes.
The same goal.
Yeah, a unified goal, right? Yeah.
Open-minded.
Diversity within the team's perspective. Yep, absolutely.
I say success.
Yeah, evaluate, you get to a goal, you look back, you say, look, we got this, right? Think about a sports team, all right? You're selected by your badminton team or your soccer team or your football or basketball or whatever. What do you get immediately when you're selected? So there's some things in teams that we don't think is part of the team, but there's some things that every team pulls together. What I was looking for was sort of the uniform or the badge or something that shows that you're a group of randoms put together on something. So there's some things that we think don't really apply, but in reality, there's a number of factors, the ingredients that fit into the team recipe. As a team member, and I like to look at the world as team members and team leaders, as a team member, you have the right to demand or the right to request or the right to receive things from a team. You also have the responsibility to give back to that team, to contribute, right? It's a pull and push. I'd like to define team member, as a team leader, you have the responsibility to provide a team experience, right? You're responsible for the overall team experience of others. I'd like to quickly identify and just provide a definition that I've come across that I really like for team leaders and team members. A team leader, this is the stage in which one person leads a team. Some of the objectives are to learn how to achieve results through people, develop competencies for leadership, learn about management skills and tools, and learn about yourself. That's your responsibility as a team leader. A team member is the stage at which a member is allocated to a team for a team experience. This happens after the member finishes some sort of induction or some sort of hiring or some sort of engagement and is accepted during an acceptance period or provided an acceptance note into that team. That's the formal start of a team experience. And the objectives for a team member are to feel ownership over the organization or the team that they're in, to enable leadership and personal development to happen within that team. They're responsible for that. To get ready for some sort of leadership experience in the future. I think every team member is strong to believe that they at one point can develop the skills that their leader has, and to develop hard skill competencies. I think a team member is very responsible for developing that hard skill of how to do something, whereas a team leader is very responsible for developing the soft skills of how to lead people to do something. Okay? So that was just some theory. I think I really like defining things before moving on. There's 7 ingredients to a team, and this is this is a framework. What I'm offering you is a lens. The reason I chose the camera here was because I just want to offer you guys a lens. This is a perspective. This is actually taken in Brazil. Whatever I'm taking the picture of, you may never know, but this is possibly me just taking a picture of a team experience. But this is a lens through which I see teams. So, 7 team ingredients. Team. It's that point where you get the jersey. Plan. Coordinating on some sort of goal and figuring out why or what you want to accomplish. Job role. Ensuring that every person on the team has a responsibility, a role, some sort of measurement of their success. Training. I'm not talking high level, I'm talking what you need to do the job. Tracking and coaching. At a camp level, I didn't track, the happiness quotient of my campers, right? There's some things you can't track, but to be honest, everything has a metric. Everything can be tracked. I might have been able to track their happiness, but I might have also been able to track if they came back the next year. And that would indicate whether I did a good job. So tracking and coaching happens in any team. Evaluation, evaluation on what your results were, and a reflection on what next. What have you learned from this team experience? For me, this is a comprehensive list in my own lens. You might have 9 elements, but I'd like to just offer you 1 lens. So here's the case study that I'd like to use as an example. I learned this team recipe while I was in Czech Republic from the president of Isaac Brazil of I believe it was 2011. He was the president of Isaac Brazil. The girl who was president before him, Anna, in 2009, brought this team leadership, this team minimum requirement, like the 7 elements, to the national level. She said, this is how we're going to run this country. And the year before, she had done it at the local level in her city. And from there it grew. Here's the case study. I'm talking team members, team leaders, and international exchange experiences. Isaac offers people mobility to go abroad and to bring people in from abroad, and our results can be measured in how many people actually get these experiences. But in 2008, team members, 1,800. 2009, when Anna stepped up, increased to 25. 45, when Anna hit the national level, and 8,000 when Rogerio hit the national level. Okay, cool, you can bring more people on the boat, but what does that mean? Well, you need team leaders. About 3 to 1, about 4 to 1, roughly 3 to 1 here. Same thing, roughly 3 to 1 here. Okay, why would 10,500 young people in a country join an organization where at one point there was only 2,200 in 4 years? Why would this happen? Because they were delivering impact. 390 international experiences, 620, 1,300, 2,300. Isaac as a whole international organization delivers 20,000 international experiences per year. 20,000 in 112 countries. In 2011, Isaac Brazil delivered 1/10 of the global international experiences. Team minimum standards, or the team recipe, the team recipe, the team recipe. Okay, so now, step 1, and I'm going to go through these ones quickly. I'd like to allocate about a minute per. I don't want to throw too much theory or ideas at you, but I just want to give an example. Step number 1 is team. I like to consider this the point when you get your jersey, or you come up with your cheer, or you get the title of being on a team. A team meets frequently. In my books, a team meets once a week. Otherwise, it's just a group of people that have something in common. But a team meets once a week. I like to define a team experience as at least 3 team members and 1 team leader for at least 2 months. That's my minimum. That's the Isaac minimum. And I believe that in this stage, you need to do some sort of team building activity. At the formation of your team, before you talk about your plan and your job and everything like that, team building activity. I have a fun little video.
This is, of course, that's what it says. All you got is serious
My first summer, I was out here for Mondays. I saw the ad.
I received an email from Siri.
See this photo, there was kind of action, adrenaline packed. So I put in a climbing photo. Luckily, I have lots of friends on Facebook. I guess they were willing to take a few minutes to go for me. Next thing I know, I'm here in Tampa with a bunch of people I've never met. And that's to go run a crazy 12-mile race. See that race! It's going to be a blast to get to know each other out on the course.
I'm going to see Ben with the mindset of a 6-year-old playing some lunch, climbing over some trees.
Okay, my favorite part of the day will be when I cross the finish line.
I'm going to call this one uninjured. This has our goals. Come on! Yeah! I don't think you're ready for climbing over 12 walls. What are you going to do? Climb that house.
Run up there, slip, fall, I'm like to slide right back down. So I just kind of like teammates ran up and they grabbed me and pulled me up.
I was crazy until about 10 miles in. My legs started to cramp so badly. They carried me, literally carried me, from one hospital to the next. The camaraderie is terrific. Thanks, guys.
Don't let us know about finishing first, about finishing together.
Okay, now, we're really fortunate for everybody else for having us out here.
Okay. I think the key takeaway from that is you have a group of people that have no reason to be together. You get ahead of it. You have a group of people who have no reason to be together who sign up online to do an 11-mile obstacle course with 25 military-style obstacles. You saw it was just a group of random people, but they had the Everest shirt. Nobody finishes alone, we finish together, right? There's something there that is in the same as this ingredients here. Just want to connect those dots. Step 2 is the plan. Everybody should be involved in the plan. Okay. I got a really interesting article from Chung Soon once that said the difference between charismatic leadership and visionary leadership. The charismatic leader shows up, tells people that's awesome, this is how we do stuff, and people are like, oh, that person's great. And then the charismatic leader leaves, and everybody's like, oh, that was great, and then they just continue on with their life. A visionary leader comes in and says, guys, what are we not good at, and what do we want to do better? Or, this is the best thing that we could ever do, let's all work together to get that done. Whether you're starting from the ground up and looking at your gaps and what you could do better, or you're looking at the best possible achievement and saying we're going to go for gold, setting up a plan and sitting down and saying, how are we going to get there? With your team is critical. Ownership in a team is developed when people feel like they're part of the plan, when they are a part of the plan. Involved in planning is for sure goals and deadlines and operational actions. What are we going to do to get to where we want to get to? I'll use an example from Isaac Laurier, the example of to become the most improved local committee in Isaac Canada. That's the big goal. There's quantitative goals that are involved in that. We need to do this many international experiences. We need to have this financial performance level. We need to have this experience level. We need to have this quality and everything here. And there's the quality measurements of we need to retain this number of people. We need to have people come back and recommend that this was a great experience. We have to have all these things that show that it was a good experience and an impactful numbers experience. But that comes down to the big goal. Next up, step 3, job roles. Who's taken HR management or OB? Who saw the chapter on job roles and job descriptions and how to create a standard job? Very simple, HR management 101. Who are you accountable to? What's the time frame of the team? What are your roles? What are your responsibilities? And what are you measured on? Do you agree? Okay, there's a very standardized format. If you look at your Isaac job description, you'll see that it's based right off an HR 101 job description with a little bit of our own flair. But regardless, everybody needs to know how their individual job affects the bottom line of the team. Correct? How many of you have signed your job description? And the question is, how many of you haven't signed your job description? Okay? It's a critical element of your experience. And it's something that at the end of your team experience, you'll get to use and be like, oh, I did do that. Oh, I got that done. Yeah, check, check, check. It's part of the evaluation and reflection stage. Training. I really like the way that they framed it in Brazil. In order to start performing, a member still needs some inputs on the job. This means, how will I deliver what I'm supposed to deliver? First training that they need to receive, once they have the buy-in to the purpose of the team, is functional knowledge. For example, if I'm in the finance area, what are the processes for budget? What is this step 1 to step 10 budget for finance, or process for finance budget? What is it? If you're in incoming exchange, step 1 to 10, how does somebody go from not being here to here? Outgoing exchange, how does somebody go from being here to not being here? Talent management, how does somebody go from being not a member to a rewarded member at the end of the day? Communications, how do we go about getting partners to get our name out there? Like, what is the process, what is the cycle, is the first stage, functional knowledge. And that could be a one-page handout for your team. Second, once the processes are there, then they need the skill required. So for finances, for example, is where you sit down and say, let's do an Excel training. What is the functional skill? How do we develop the hard skill? Just like in class, you develop a hard skill. It takes practice. If you develop the hard skill first, it won't make sense because there's no process to say, oh, it fits in this part, it's this puzzle piece. Okay? So very important process and functional knowledge, followed by skill and specific knowledge. 1, 2. What do you need? What skill do you need from the functional side, and what do you need to get the job done? Next up, tracking and coaching. Everything can be measured. Being measured sometimes sucks. You're like, oh, why do I have to put numbers in? Why do I have to measure it? What? 3 years from now, when they say, wow, they did a great job, are they going to be able to qualify that? I hear people say, oh yeah, they did a great job 2 years ago, it was fantastic. I was like, okay, what happened in this 3-month period? What can we do to also hit that in that 3-month period? But generally speaking, unless you're tracking your numbers or you're tracking what's happening on a week-to-week, oh, sorry, this is the team leader tracking tool that happens in Isaac Laurier. Everything that you do in a week gets put in here on a week-to-week basis, so that as an executive level, we can track what happens in the year. And then in September, you can say this happened, October, November, December. And then when you submit a quarterly report to your board of advisors or board of directors, you have the numbers. Because they're going to ask you, and this is for when you get into the real world, you're going to say, oh, it's fantastic, I did a great job last month. I was so busy, everything happened. They'll be like, okay, what happened? Like, what's the number? And if you can't answer that question, you're not going to be taken seriously. Very important for tracking is if you're tracking, you know when nothing's happening. And when nothing's happening, you can sit down with somebody and coach them or mentor them. You can give them motivation or you can give them functional skills. And then things happen. Tracking and coaching is vital. That's why we have leadership or learning and development coaches for every person in this organization. So they can sit down with you and look at what your plan is for the semester. It's really interesting. But it takes a lot of work. This is what your executives do. Step 6, evaluation. This is the main purpose of this is to understand whether people have completed what they wanted to complete. You can do this halfway, you can do this 3/4 of the way through, you can do this at the end of it. I recommend checking in with yourself or checking in with team members. Are you doing what you want to do? Does what you're doing right now fit into your big goal? If you join this organization to develop your public speaking skills and you're stuck in a corner for 3 months and you haven't said anything because you feel like you can't get a chance to public speak, you won't want to join again next semester. In 2 years, I've seen over 150 to 200 members come through. And it's the people who want to accomplish something bigger and use their experience to slowly step up towards that big goal who stay because they have a reason. Continuously evaluate why you're here and what you're doing. And don't just let 3 months fly by. Oh, this is a picture from Kenya. This is when we awarded Colin Barrell, who was alumni of Isaac Canada and the board of director chair for Isaac, or the board of directors for Isaac Canada. He was awarded at the international level one of the greatest alumni achievement awards that we can offer, because he wanted to give back, and for a number of years he did. So he continuously did something that we recognized him for, and eventually he got the top honor. What are you going to be recognized for? What do you want to get? And last one is reflection. And the reason I put up this picture is because each person on this, and you might recognize Peck from the elections, each person on this picture was part of the Isaac Canada national team of 2010-11. Peck went on to become a sales and business development guy at Procter & Gamble. He used his experience as a business development vice president of Isaac Canada to get an even better job. Raf went on to become the president of Isaac and Oman. The president, like straight up running an international organization in another country, because he did organizational development in Canada. Peter went on to become the president of Isaac Canada, and following that, the vice president of marketing at Isaac International. He works in Rotterdam with 20 other internationals for a full year to lead a 65,000 person organization, and he's responsible for the marketing of that whole organization. And Rochelle went on to join the conference committee in Kenya and spent over 3-4 months on that conference committee as external, working with externals, and then got a job in Belgium, a professional internship for 1 year. This team, and I know this team did it, spent an intensive amount of time reflecting. And one of the stories I remember was at a conference, before it started, before they went out to do everything and get planning and get kicked off, their team leader just said, guys, get your bathing suits, we're going down to the pool. And they sat in the pool, swam for a bit, and then just got in a circle and said, what are you scared about? What are you hoping for? And just had this rolling conversation, reflecting about what they were getting, what they wanted. And each one of them went on to do incredible things. And reflection of your experience is the most vital part at the end of your closing of your team experience, because this allows you to reflect on your experience so far and your career plan or next steps on what you do want to do again. So just to recap: team, plan, job, train, track, coach, evaluate, and reflect. This is a framework, this is a lens for team experience. Given that it started at 7:07, this is still 29 minutes, so 30 minutes or less. My closing thought for you is, how does your team experience compare? Are you fulfilling the 7 crucial team ingredients? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Carson, for coming over and giving us a nice speech. I know you missed one of your classes to come do this.
I still have some.
Okay, that's good. And thank you guys for showing up. We have another Toolbox Tuesdays next Tuesday, and we have, I believe his name is Roy Weber.
Yeah.
He's from the Campus Club. He's going to be coming and talking to us. And next Tuesday, Toolbox Tuesday, BA 110, 7 o'clock. Thank you so much.
What are you talking about?
He didn't specify it, I believe.
Oh, Campus Service
He's
Club.
never submitted it.
He hasn't submitted, so we might have an
And
opening.
I've emailed him like 3 times.
We might have an opening. Can I ask, please, bit.ly, the short bit.ly/Toolbox Tuesday is a chance for you to sign up for next week's, to say that you'll be there, and also a chance for you to give feedback on myself or Jose or Poppy. Feedback is highly encouraged and highly appreciated. Can you guys please take a chance to go on bit.ly/Toolbox Tuesday to please submit some feedback. I'll put it up on the board here. The capital T and capital T for Toolbox on Tuesday. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much.